and gentlemen, happy Monday. And we are here on a Monday, not a Tuesday, because today is a very special day in Disney history. Disney California Adventure turns 20 years old today. Opened on February 8th, 2001. This theme park did not look anywhere like this. If you're a California native or a Legacy Annual Pass holder, you know about the sprawling California letters that used to spread across the front of this thing. And you don't remember the Pan Pacific Theater spires because they were also the Golden Gate Bridge and the Sunshine Plaza with the sun and the fountain and all that stuff. That was DCA. But today, it's completely different. So let's go ahead and let's celebrate 20 years of Disney California Adventure. What better way to start celebrating today than the movement of the red cart trolley? Now, interesting thing enough that in the last year or so, they moved the charging pad down here from the Hollywoodland area. So this has always been parked over by off the page, but today it is front and center. As you can see that they have reopened this general area right here, though Humphreys is still to reopen. Same with the Coke corner back here. The popcorn cart looks like it's ready to open, but there's a lot of things that are still closed. Smoke Jumper's Grill opens at 11 for the Disneyland app. And then going on the other side, Hollywoodland here, originally Hollywood Pictures backlot, truly is one of those lands that hasn't really changed much. On your right, Disney Theater, which used to be the ABC restaurant for a short while in 2001. You know, that didn't really last that long. It then became Playhouse Disney, and now it's Disney Junior. So it's basically served the same purpose, albeit different. Basically the big new thing that they added was award wieners. I don't think there was anything here back in 2001, nor Sunset Showcase, which Sunset Showcase, looking back, used to be Muppet Vision 3D. And this entrance didn't exist until the thing. And right now, by the way, if you're a Legacy Pass holder, you do have a special photo op, I believe, soft open today. So, you know, you got that, and that's gonna be up here. But basically, for the most part, remained unchanged for a very long time. And then it got the name change in 2012. Again, the trolley's not here. Trolley moved back at the park entrance. Monsters Inc. Oh boy. Can we talk? Let's talk about Superstar Limit, because I never really wrote it. 2001, I was only 2 years old, so that makes sense. And and it never really was a big thing. It never really picked up. So anyways, I never really rode that. It was always closed, but there was a rocket rod out there all the time. And then looking back here, as we head into further to Hollywoodland, this building, Stage 17, this area was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you could actually play the game. Didn't last too long because the primetime version of the show was canceled in 2002, with the daily syndicated one lasting until 2019 before being picked up again by ABC, running 2022 right now, the Celebrity Edition, where they're also combining it with first responders and essential workers and all that. So Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Stage 17, was home to many variety events like Frozen, the Disney fan events back in 2018, 2019. And I think, 2018, 2019. They announced it for 2020, but that never happened. And then down there where the Avengers, where the Captain Marvel meet and greet is, down on that end used to be the Hollywood and Dine. It used to be a food court type thing. never really caught on, and it's now an event space that you can actually rent out for businesses, parties, and all that stuff. Back here, there actually used to be an improv show. Of all things, an improv show. So I would have actually liked to see that, because I enjoy comedy, and a stage like that, which is now mainly being used for like superhero events or high school bands and choirs and all that stuff. It would be nice to see a show like that, but this entire area is pretty much not much like what it was in 2001. Now, I have been reading things that, rumors and whatnot, but an idea came about that says retheme Hollywoodland to WandaVision, and that way you can encompass this part of DCA as Avengers Campus by theming it to WandaVision. And it's a very interesting concept, but the big thing is, what are you going to do with the animation building? What could you do with that? So, they're almost there with that execution, but they're not quite there yet. Moving down here, one of the main staples of 2009 was the Imagineering Blue Sky Cellar. It's this building right here that used to house a movie about winemaking, which then became a preview center for many other attractions like the Bugsland, as we see across the walkway. Pixar Pier primarily, which I'm surprised that's been there for around 3 years now? Oh, yeah, 3 years now. Anyways, and in the background you can see Pixar Pier itself. And if we try and back up a little bit more, we can't see it. We can barely see it. The three names for the Ferris wheel: Sun Wheel, Mickey's Fun Wheel, and the Pixar Pal Around in 2018. That has to be the attraction with the most names here at Disneyland. Meanwhile, again, as we cross into the other side, Carsland used to be the Bountiful Valley Farm. At least this part. The back side wasn't developed. In fact, that back part used to be part of the Lion King parking lot. I'm going to disregard Pacific Wharf, because that basically has been unchanged with the exception of Ghirardelli, which opened in 2012, I believe. But this area was very interesting because you could actually climb into the cabs. You can climb into the cabs of Caterpillar heavy machinery, which is looking back, it's a very interesting concept for. It's a very interesting concept. Period. I mean, but hey, it gave root to the agricultural past of California. Meanwhile, this area right here, Golden Vine, would basically be a tribute to the wine country. And the big thing that opened in 2004, in fact, the park's first expansion in 2004, which had just closed in 2018, Bugsland, now Avengers Campus. Basically, the ants were replaced with Ant-Man. This land was the jam as a kid. Heinleich's. We got a special guest today. We got Freddie on FaceTime today. Stuck in quarantine. He just came back from Walt Disney World. I am so mad. Why did you not invite me? Anyways, so we're talking today about DCA 1.0, and I was discussing my favorite moments. What were your favorite moments of DCA?
DCA 1.0, definitely the Grizzly Peak area. I mean, that's an area of the park that's always felt the most whole and sort of completed. I mean, you have the Grand California Hotel right behind it, so that whole area just feels like an immersive land from the get-go. Then in the back, you have the whole Soarin' area. So you had Condor Flats originally, and Soarin' over California was definitely a highlight attraction for that park. It was the thing that left the most impact on people. So even to this day, that attraction is still relevant and good. definitely receiving updates over time in terms of its projection and everything like that, and even changing the land to be the Grizzly Peak Airfield.
Yes, I mentioned that earlier about Condor Flats. One of the things, again, that I miss is that rocket tower. Hot days and it would mist all over you before there was disease and all that, but that was one of those good times.
Yeah, that's I mean, Condor Flats is definitely, it had a lot of value to it, especially with the California theming and the way aviation is so linked into the state's history. It makes a lot of sense. I still remember Sunshine Plaza as a kid.
You say?
And that whole area. I really liked Sunshine Plaza as a kid, especially with the train that was lined up there. And
yes,
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Burbank ice cream. The puns. Oh, the puns, man. Those they went all in on the puns, but the rest of the park, that's where they spent the most money on the puns.
They spent all the money on puns.
Yes, exactly. I remember, especially Paradise Pier had everything. Like they had Pizza Mau Mau to who remembers McDonald's Burger Invasion?
Boy.
And I feel like the one attraction that seems to have been lost on everybody, the SS Rustworthy. That was one of those things when I didn't want to ride Tower of Terror. That was one of those. It wasn't a ride per se, but it's one of those park playground that's basically you think for a while and then that's it.
Well, I think something to note is that we grew up with DCA.
We did.
As a thing, like as it started, we were kids, so we can like remember that. So definitely Rustworthy, Burger Invasion, the whole Paradise Pier area. I remember listening to the Beach Boys music, like that background loop.
And then also
the land was well done.
Also the special events that they had, X Games, ABC. Those were it was very interesting to say. I mean, it's one of those forbidden memories that somehow get unlocked some way, somehow.
Yeah, that park was very interesting when it opened. In fact, I'm already in conversations with some of my friends to do, I won't be the main host for that podcast, but we're going to sort of do a DCA love letter sort of podcast to the park. Dear
SS Rustworthy, we miss you.
We miss you.
That's why, by the way, that thing was split into two. You could actually go into the lower part. It's just across from Jumpin' Jellyfish. If you're going around World of Colors, right between Jumpin' Jellyfish, Golden Zephyr, and the Silly Symphony Swing. So an Orange Stinger, man. Orange Stinger. You would really smell that. Just like Soren's scene. You could really smell it. And the short-lived bee-butts, that I remember from Yesterland, but yeah, like that entire area, Maliboomer, which some people are saying is the most COVID-safe ride if it existed today. I stand uncorrected. How did I forget Emotional Whirlwind? I forgot about that. That's where Emotional Whirlwind is today. The DCA's first expansion was Bugsland, and that was it as a kid. That would have been maybe 5 years old, 1999. 5 years old in 2004. Heimlich's Choo Choo Train. We all know that's a huge fan favorite of all of ours. We were sad to see it go. Matterhorn Matt made a song about that. I don't know if you remember that. The ode to Heimlich. But that land, in my opinion, was the most immersive land, at least from a kid's perspective, because everything was so huge. You were taking things from the perspective of an ant. And that, to me, was always so much fun. And Tuck and Roll 'em, the bumper cars, which were slow enough that they weren't fun at all. That I remember. And I think the first e-ticket in that land was Tower of Terror. when that came over in 04, because that was also part of the Bugsland expansion. Now, Avengers Campus and Tower of Terror is now Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout as of 2018. So much change in the span of 20 years, I mean, clearly. And we're now
completely different now.
Oh yeah, it is
from how it was at the beginning, and I think all the better for it. You know, the current iteration of the park, especially once you have Avengers Campus open, the only weak spot, you know, is pretty much
Pixar
much
Pier,
the Hollywoodland area.
I'll agree, and I have heard some suggestions on Twitter and a little bit on Reddit. Retheme Hollywoodland into the universe of WandaVision.
That's definitely a suggestion. I think in terms of WandaVision as a property, though, I think your biggest struggle is as a Disney Plus show. Yes, it's the first one, but you know, shortly we are going to have 10 other Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
That have to do with the Marvel Universe. So you can't always say this immediate property is going to be the most relevant thing for that area. I think it'll also take a long time before Hollywoodland really gets its due. I think part of that is waiting for the Eastern Gateway project to somehow be revived and
Hopefully.
to actually build a show building on that area where you have all the transportation.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That's a huge plot of land that needs to be relocated some way, somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but with that said, I mean, it's very easy for you to decide, okay, we're going to put in more Marvel and we're going to expand Marvel around the corner. In terms of just that area in general and what you can do with the Marvel IP, it's definitely something that you can keep pushing.
Oh, definitely. So, we may be looking on the past today, but looking ahead to the future, we're very, 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 very excited to see what happens, and especially with hopes of a possible reopen in the summer, as long as we keep those vaccination numbers higher than the positivity rate that it has been recently, then we can really get to enjoy those brighter days when they actually eventually do come. Thank you, Freddie, for joining us on the vlog today. He hosts the Imagine Tomorrow podcast featuring the Marvel theme park universe, hyping up Avengers Campus. Got any final words you want to say?
I'm going to be doing some episodes over the coming weeks as sort of a trip report to my journey over to Walt Disney World, which was taken during the pandemic. So also talking about that experience and what it's like to visit a theme park while you're also taking those precautions, because I think it's helpful in terms of viewing what the future of Disneyland and DCA are going to look like once they reopen right at the tail end of COVID.
That's a new announcement.
Practice physical distancing and limit gatherings to those within your immediate household. Working together, we can look forward to making more Disney memories together.
They had the holiday,
Wow.
They had the holiday themed, and then I believe it was just this past week they were testing it when I was doing my walks out here. So exciting stuff as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of DCA. Anyways, guys, I'm Mark Catape. We will see you guys on Thursday for TASP Thursdays. We're replacing we're replacing Stock Talk with Taz Gamer this week, as I will not be available. So we will see you guys then.